Let's mute that audio so I can hear it. You can't hear it. All right. What's up, everybody? We're going to go ahead and do our Sunday prep. Preparing for the week ahead. We've got earnings week, or a group of earnings coming here very shortly. We're going to ban that guy. So without any further ado, we're going to take a look at the economic calendar. We did this yesterday. Make sure to watch yesterday's video. A lot of really good questions, answers, all that stuff. But let's look ahead to the week. There we go. All right, so the 13th through the 17th, Monday, starting out, no data, right? Nothing really big, but we do have data 8:30 Tuesday that's going to be coming in. FOMC members will be speaking all week. That is not always a promise that we're going to chop, but it does increase the probability of that potentially happening. Core CPI following morning, CPI month over month, year over year. Thursday, all of this data coming in pre-market. We've got core retail sales, and unemployment claims. So this is all going to be hopefully enough to build a lot. Sometimes when you have big moves happen and you have data come in, it can do the opposite of extend it, right? But it could also pack that volume that normally would be driven into an area of consolidation, making it even more likely to break in the week following with data or with earnings coming. That could play hand in hand. But anyway, that is the data that we have in front of us. Hold on one second. I think somebody posted this. And let's see if I can find it through the endless. There it is. All right. So this is the month. Hold on one second. All right. So we have a week right here, as you can see. And this is a good representation of the earnings that we have coming into this week. And the month. This is earnings month. Tesla, Apple, Netflix, SoFi, all your favorites coming in this week. And I want to stop really quick. And I know that this isn't my normal speech, but I know there is a large dark cloud around earnings, and I totally. What is Putter Shack? That's funny. But there's a certain vibe that comes with it, an unknowingness. I'm just gonna say this. It's difficult to hear me. Okay, I can always adjust that. Is that better? Can you guys hear me now? Is that a little bit better? Try the volume on your phone. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, I'm going to say this, if the setup is clear and the target-based contracts are in your favor, take your trade. That's it. All right, so bank earnings coming in this week. Thursday, we'll have a TSMC, excuse me. And if you guys want to have some of these charted, obviously, this is a good week to prep for next week's. I'm not a big fan of playing bank earnings, but whatever. That's good. All right. So let's take a look at SPY. And we did a lot of this last night, so this analysis should be pretty quick, and then you guys can go ahead and start dropping your requests. But we have a floor here at 579.13. It is what it is. Yes, there is a wick down there. Yes, that 577.86 could give us a bounce, but a candle close underneath Friday's close at 579. I believe that we have a leg down to 573.79 and maybe even 571 to 50. One of the reasons that I feel this way is because the wicked off and retested and was driven back down. So all that is required right now is a breakdown of this floor. If you're able to recover 584.35, well, then we might have something working to the upside. But as of right now, I think there is a strong probability that we'll be heading down, at least in the following days to come. Thank you for the gifts. Appreciate that. Yeah, you don't have to do that. I really do appreciate it though. So QQQ following that, right? Same, basically same analysis. The only difference here is we on the 4 hour, it does call for a little bit more analysis. You can see this structure's cost basis, but when you move into the 4 hour, um, it looks a little bit more like this, right? And so we've bounced off of the top of that previous structure on the Qs, 504.37. Underneath that, I believe we have a $500 target, and we also have this pretty nice channel that we are abiding by. So if continuation of the downside happens, I see this gap getting filled at 493.35. So this is not, and again, those of you who are new here, these type of setups where we can see a clear punch down is exactly how we end up making percentages as high as these. Which, where's my little zoomer? Yeah, just redonkulous. So, god damn. Sometimes I get lost looking at this thing. It's fucking badass. All right. Um, yeah. All right. That's enough. CVS and then IWM, 24-hour time frame. Same deal, right? This one I think has a little bit of a clearer setup, but the way that you fell, I believe that IWM might give us a retest of the 217 or 218 floor before finally breaking down underneath these wicks and through this empty space with a 211 target right there. That is my next target for IWM with the break on this floor. Any sort of reversal would happen on a 218 close, and obviously a punch over 221, and I believe we'll be moving to the upside. All right. So that is the major ETFs. Again, we have a really data filled week ahead of us. Um, I believe this week, if I have it my way, should consolidate a little bit. I'd like to see some consolidation, um, just so that earnings week has a little bit more momentum. But then again, sometimes SPY likes to kind of build into earnings. But anyway, if you guys have any requests or questions, go ahead and drop that now. Um, uh, yeah. Have I ever traded with a prop firm? No, it's not necessary. I trade on $50,000 cash every single month, and at the end of the month, I pull whatever profits out and start again. What? What do we mean build? So I like Shirley when something like we've had a lot of big, um, yeah. So Big Tasty, my guy. Eh, some of the gains and we'll go over that in a second are ridiculous, and it does not take a lot of money. Um, Building into earnings would be like, for example, if we're looking at SPY, if it built like a box right here, right, and then dumped into or used earnings as a momentum driver, I think that could be, that's just a preference. But at the moment, we're operating pretty well in here. So I am looking at that next leg down, 575, 73 too. So Michael, yeah. Um, can I go through my Potterbox strategy? We can do a brief rundown, especially if there's and we're doing request here as well. Just everybody be patient. Try to get to everybody. You can repeat your questions if needed. So the long and short of this, man, and I want to make it short. Is the strategy says, okay, in its most basic form, that an area of consolidation contains the majority of the volume at the 50% mark. If that 50% mark is broken, now this is a very It's not unusual, right? It is not common, but you do build a area of consolidation around cost basis. But the long and short, and this usually takes lower time frame confirmation, but if the 50% mark of a box is broken after you have left either up or down, if that is broken and the floor is broken, right, but the 50% mark is what matters, you will reach that next target. So one of my it always comes to mind just because I've included it in so many educational pieces. I've scarred myself, but it just shows the the perfect Potter box, Mara, and this is a trade that we took about a year or so ago. So this is a perfect so anybody who wants to learn my system, right? This right here is repeatable. I mean, you go look at the gains page in our Discord. I mean, what we did with Netflix, all of this is repeatable by 445%. I mean, we caught where is he at? Yeah, 1900%. You know, so these are this is a formidable strategy. So area of consolidation, right? We have marked out, and I'll actually do this for you so you can see. Okay, so box, and then underneath you, we have another box. So the concept here is if you punch through the 50% mark, you will go and reach your next target. Now, we like to highlight something called empty space. So the Potter box without empty space is still true, but the Potter box with empty space allows us to capture phenomenal, outstanding, consistent gains. So this would be regarded as empty space. There's just no resistance. There's no box. And so we trade literally box to box, but when the 50% mark is closed over, you have punched through the 50% mark of any box, you are guaranteed a new high. And that also means for the downside. So it's really interesting because you can look at this chart and you can see the wick off of the floor where sellers do not want price to settle. If it does settle on there, buyers will have control of the floor and that will squeeze sellers out. And if they don't have any other resistance but what is above them, you're going to rip. And Netflix was a example. I'm trying to type now. My cat's on my right in front of my fucking keyboard. Rogue, you can't. This is a terrible spot to lay. So we just did the same thing on Netflix, right? And this was at the top a 3,000% plus trade. Box, area of consolidation. We took it out of its own box, right? But once it punched through that 50% mark of the box, empty space underneath you. So if it makes more sense, you can even flip it to the upside. Box 50% empty space, and we rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat over and over and over again. And this is, I don't look for, some people bring me charts and I'm like, you know, I'm not really, I tell people I don't like it because if you are rewarded in a monumentous fashion every single time you repeat this one simple thing, right? All of a sudden after doing it a couple of times, you're like, I don't think I'll ever do anything else. If it doesn't look fucking clear, I'm not doing it. Michael, I have considered it, but I'm in uh I'm in full control of what I got. But I have, yes. All right. So that is the Potter box strategy in a nutshell. Let's go ahead and maybe look for that same strategy. How much do I make monthly? Well, I have doubled my account and I changed this month in the first 10 days of the month. I don't set an expectation, right? I trade on $50,000 a month. I just doubled it plus a couple thousand. I'm basically saying I don't like to I don't like to talk about my money, but I'm sitting at 104. So I mean, like right now, for me, I could stop. But the beautiful thing about this is I can take a very small fraction of what I've made. In fact, I'm planning on taking about $5,000 or $6,000 into earnings. Right, the rest of it, I'm no touchy. Right, And I'm going to go ahead and look for absolutely verifiably clear setups that I can chart cleanly. And we'll do that. You guys, if you stick around, you'll see us look at these earnings charts. And I encourage you guys to remind me when you post your chart, if it has earnings coming up, tell me that, otherwise I'm going to chart it regardless later on. But yeah, and I mean, and Michael, I can make it legitimately, dude, with 6K, or I could make, I could make another 50 with earnings season coming up and having the strategy and the clarity that we have inside of this. I just need to stay calm in the moments that I'm making a lot of money. Like when we hit Netflix, I mean, I was losing it, and that's okay because I deserve it. But as soon as that moment's done, we move on and we look for the next thing. And I get to enjoy the spoils of my hard work in my real life. Obviously here we got to focus. So you can't sleep on my hand, Rogue. You can't. All right. So, if you have any stocks that you would like to drop, I've already seen Tesla about 100 times. This is one that I do expect to move. But Rod, I did get your message about the music. Ping me again so I don't lose track of it. But so I do think, and if you guys understand Tesla, you know that it likes to move like a crackhead. And the way, and that's a technical, well, I shouldn't use that word. So the way that I see Tesla moving, right, is usually in opposition of the actual market. So if you notice, a lot of stocks dumped right through their empty space, and we should expect for Tesla to do that, right? It doesn't. So play the setup, right? When the setup says go, time to go. Here's a couple of points that I think are pretty clear, right? This is not a stock that I would be confused about. Your floor, or where buyers are holding the price, and if they're unable to hold the price, there's a straightforward target underneath you at 360. So I can just with the utmost confidence tell you that if this floor is lost, that's where we'll be. Now, people are ridiculous. But if that floor is lost, right? That's not a question. Now we're inside of the box, so I can't really say for certain, especially it being Tesla, that it's going to fall, right? And here's how I can map this out. This is a fractalized strategy, which just is a fancy way of saying if it works on the 24-hour, the exact same strategy that I'm telling you, I can dive in a little deeper and I can find even greater details because it works the same way. That'll give me confirmation on which direction it's heading while it's inside of the box, right? I do trade options. So here's how this will work. Tesla has a box above it. Tesla is in a box, and this is a 4-hour, 2-hour box, lots of tension. I expect this is going to break. The wick off of the bottom and pulling yourself like that up like that, to me, pulls the volume, right? So there's like, you could look at it like orders or volume sitting on that floor. And every time you tap it, it has the intention and need to continue moving up. If it doesn't, eventually it's like almost like having a budget, right? That floor has a budget. And every time you touch it, you pull money out of that budget. And if you pull too much money out of that budget, nobody can buy when it gets there again and it falls. So you need to move up. And with that, I can see 1, 2, and with this box up above me, 402.50, if that is reclaimed, and if you punch over this box at 408.50, I can give you a pretty accurate target, which I think would be right around 424, right? So it would probably look a little bit like this. I don't suspect it would just fly up. I think there will be some sense of a grind, right? If you fall fast, you'll rip fast. But if you dump choppy, you'll rip choppy sometimes, right? Unless volume or news is on your side. So for Tesla, do I have a long-term target? No. But do I have an inside the box area that I'm waiting to react to? And if those triggers fall, I can get a greater idea of where we're going to move? Yes. So that's how I feel about Tesla. That was a mouthful. All right. You keep sleeping on my hand. Every time I set my hand there, you just sleep. All right. All right. I got to type on my keyboard, Rogue. My cat. All right, you here. Can I put you like on the desk? What a hoss. Why no one does 1 minute scalping? Because so let me explain it to you this way, okay? If the higher time frame is the same as the lower time frame, right? And a 1 minute box will break through and give you a 1 minute move, right? It'll give you that next target. So while we're looking out at the same thing, right? We're looking how the overall mechanism is going to move over days. So just logically, right? If you have a 24-hour setup, you're going to get a 24-hour move. And if you have a 1 minute setup, you're going to get a 1 minute setup, which means you got to react faster, you got to move faster, you got to be less emotional. And I personally couldn't give a fuck less, right? I don't give a. This is not nobody gives a fuck if you go to a bar and say, I'm a scalper. Like I scalp really fast. Like nobody really gives a fuck, dude. And I certainly put no ego on that. And I'm here to make bread. And as long as I'm doing that and how I'm doing that doesn't really matter to or shouldn't matter to anybody else, right? So there is a lot of ego attached to um these scalpers who show the fucking Lamborghinis and shit like that, dude, that shit's so fucking far out of reach. If you could get 50 grand in your pocket right now, for most individuals in the reality, that would be amazing. 100K, ridiculous, right? So if you have millions in capital, I can't do what the fuck you want to do. You have the liberty, right? You can afford that. And I think that's the point is you can afford you have more money, you can afford more risk. If you don't have as much money, you need those bigger moves to make more money with less. For example, this trade that you're looking at right here, anybody want to guess? I mean, you don't have to guess if you use percentages, right? How much should he put in there to make fucking 35 grand? Let's let's ask my boy here. So if I made 1,925% on a trade and made $35,000 out on it, how much did I make? Just give me the answer, okay? Where I don't need all that. That's he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's retarded. Uh, yeah, it made like he put 3K into that trade, right? So for a lot of people who, even if you had $100,000, a lot of people will use five, I mean, 10, 15, 20, $30,000 just to make $1,000, $2,000. So anyway, all right. So that's Tesla and a speech. What else are what are we throwing in here? What do you guys see? I do not. I've already looked at DJT. Sure, there is a potential setup here. I think that's rooted in the weekly time frame. The weekly says yes, there is some move that is going to happen very soon, right? And it looks like this. So I can just again confidently tell you above 37.14. There is a candle close above you at 42.19. It's missing structure. It doesn't have the what it does have is it does have trend like so, right? So, in terms of the box, there's not much that I can give you, right? Other than this is potentially cost basis, and if you rip up 54.50, where did I learn all of this? So I actually learned all of this by trying not to listen to anybody, especially anybody who had a social media page. I know people think I'm a hater on here, which I don't like those guys for sure. Um, but I literally after losing scalping and all this other stuff and seeing that most of these people were reselling information that was already on Investopedia, I looked at the market by myself with no other nothing else. So, all right, let's look at Nvidia. This is a big one. This is a really really big one. Um, You know what? Leave the analysis to me. This guy's still yapping, dude. All right. Anyway, so Nvidia, right? And this is a big setup. I think everybody should be reasonably. Now, do I see a big move on it? No. I think death happens slow potentially, but again, that's not where my expertise lies. Underneath 134, the floor is lost. So there is 3 rejections off of the top inside of this area of consolidation. If you really think about the magnitude of money that is being pulled off the top, it's ridiculous, right? The top, mind you, is right here at 153. You have hit that particular top 2 times, right? Completely engulfed all of this with a pretty bearish candle, right? And the engulfment isn't necessarily what makes it bearish. It's bearish because it's close to 134. So under 134, you have a straightforward target of 129.50. And if that Friday closes underneath that, you move into the 24-hour time frame, and this is where this trade, again, doesn't really open up, right? But it does show the potential for a breakdown, right? And I think looking aside, again, it's kind of a hanger, right? So looking at this, I see a target underneath you of 124.50, 121. It's all psychological numbers, right? 120.75, and all of this is being recorded and will be put on my YT. And again, if you're not following me there and this place has disappeared, I'm gonna miss you. This is my channel. That's me. Gang, look at this. Where else are you gonna get fucking thumbnails that look like that? Nowhere. That's pretty fire. All right. That's NVIDIA. All right. QBTS. Good heavens. Well, as you can see, the bounce off of cost basis, I'm not touching that. Again, just I haven't touched this chart, I don't think. So you did bounce off a cost basis, and now you've returned back down to the top. So that bounce really didn't get you anywhere. So there's clear parameters, right? You can say that above, and it's good to know where something will reverse. So that way that if you're not making money and this is going the opposite way that you want it to, it's going to keep going in the opposite way that you want it to. So if by some chance you were able to bounce here, 674, 675 would lead you up to potentially 834 and 915. On the flip side of this, right, this is the trigger to the downside. So if that breaks, you get a long fucking way down, potentially all the way to 335. So there's a bigger move happening here. Ooh. Bullish Monday. I lost $100 at 9:30. What do you mean? Listen, I'm not going to react. The market, and this is something that, especially if you're new here, you will ask the people who follow my system, and they also don't listen to news. They don't listen to other people. They don't listen to other bank upgrades. They're not looking at flow. They're not looking at any of that shit. The market is a mechanical system, and I will die on that hill. And not because I want to believe that for my own but because it's what is true. It's in front of me. It works that way. If you lost at 9:30, dude, I bought 9:30. Oof, in overnight. Okay, this will be on YouTube. Yep. All right. So let's take a look at MU. Now this is a juicy one. I like this. I'll tell you why I like this. I like it. Okay. Once you learn supply and demand zones, pick a blue chip major shop and keep what? Kyle, are you serious, dude? Don't do that. There's actually statistics, real mathematical statistics that speak directly against what you're saying. 80% of stocks do not hold their highs long term. Do you know that? Even some of the most reputable companies, you look at all of them, some of them will lose 50% of their value before going back up. I mean, if you have $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 to invest, cool. See you when you're fucking 40, 50. But like, yes, if that's money that you want to make money on so that you can invest that money on something later, that's what I do. And you know what I don't buy? Blue chip stocks. You know what I do buy? This is literally my fucking bank account. QYLD. The Global X NASDAQ 100 covered call ETF. Because how do the markets make, institutions make the most money, right? Off of selling options, right? Not buying them, selling options. This awards me a dividend every single month. Every single month I get paid, and I'm at the point now that I'm like getting close to being able to cover all of my basic bills with just QYLD. This has been one of, if not the greatest investment I've ever made, and it looks like shit. But you know what it doesn't do? Bitch at every month when it needs to pay me 18 cents. The dividend per share, dude, it fluctuates. 34, bro. 34. 18. 18. 18. It just jacked up, bro. Like now with this last dividend, sorry, I'm geeked up, bro. With this last dividend, yeah, bro. I'm riggedy racks here, baby. All right, anyway. So that is my response to you. All right, keep dropping the there's a lot of good ones, but that's my favorite one. All right, let's take a look at BA. Hopefully they don't come for May. Only chart positive things for BA. That's for sure. Now, I will tell you this. There is a move coming. There's a big move coming. The reason that I can say that is because and I don't think it's done yet. I think there is probably more than likely a range that you just created right here. So it is possible that you build a box, which means that you're likely going back up to 180, 150. And I think that there's sideways action that happens here. So I'm predicting a box. And the reason that I'm saying that is because you have a massive 24-hour cost basis that you hit at 182, and you're trying desperately to hold on to this floor right here. So you know where you go south, 167.35, and you would have a return, no problem, down to 160, right? And right now I think that the ultimate move is to punch through 182.50. So you mean the liquidity zone or chop? A box, dude, what I call it doesn't matter when I'm making this kind of money. It doesn't matter. There's 1,000 different names for the same thing because we're all looking at the same market. But I also am not absolutely gobbling on somebody else's. I don't have my fucking forehead on some other dude's belly button to the point where his strategy and what he says is cemented in everything that I do. Because that's a prison that you live in if it's wrong. If you're wrong, if ICT is wrong, right? Then you're stuck with all of these fucking definitions that don't do shit. They don't do anything. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, I did skip MU. Sorry. I'm glad because now we have an opportunity to go over it. MU. Look at this motherfucker. There is money to be made. Good morning. What's up? There is absolutely money to be made on this. So you went up 24-hour box, hit your cost basis. So here's what I am thinking for MU. MU has a 96.16 floor, right? It's too soon yet, but underneath that floor, it is absolutely in the cards to return back down to the top right here at 93. If 93 is broken, you have a gap fill and cost basis around $89. Don't use ICT on stocks. Listen, it's just this guy who took some other Japanese guy's definite trading strategy and rebranded it and overdid it, and I can't think of one ICT trader who isn't a monstrously stressed out individual. So, um, but anyway, yeah. So that at the moment is what I see. I know that eventually MU, this empty space, all of this will be filled up. And I don't know if it's earnings or what it's going to be, but something will get us back up there eventually. And that will be, if I can catch this trade when it breaks off, this will probably be, I mean, I could probably make 100 grand on a trade like this. Yeah. All my, yeah, use trend lines, right for stuff. So less is more. Just that's all, guys. Less is more. I use boxes, lines, and channels. I don't use anything else. There's no volume on my chart. There's no RSI on my chart. Nothing. I don't need that shit. If the setup doesn't look clear, I just don't take it. All right. Crowd. It's easy to make 100 grand a day with two full. Okay. Yeah. All right. Are you making 100 grand a day, buddy? See, some people are so fucking out of touch. 100 grand. If you made that in a day, bro, go go enjoy your life, bro. Like, don't be. Why would you trade the next day? I don't understand that. That's not even long term thinking. You make 100 grand, you just made more than most. All right. Weekly area of so crowd is going to move. That I can tell you for sure. Crowd underneath 340 has a move down on the weekly to this area of consolidation for a retest of 321. And I tell you what, and I'm sure some fucking knucklehead in here is going to say head and shoulders. Take that head and shoulders and tuck it between your legs. It's not going to do any good here. The reality is, right, that I just am simply looking for this floor. If I attach my sentiment to a pattern that's one of the lowest statistical patterns in the market, then that's a great way to lose. But underneath, right, 336 on the 24-hour time frame, that gives you a clear leg down to 321. When you say if it closes above cost base, it guarantees you new high, but it doesn't reach new high. What are you talking about, Oscar? All right. Um, look at the camera. Nah, man, that's weird. That's weird. I'm not gonna help you finish. All right. So we're getting banned. It is looking a little bit bearish. Will I be trading live today? Maybe tomorrow, but not today. You get so if you are curious on joining my Discord, I invite you to go to the free Discord and ask and talk to anybody in there. Go to the gains page, go to testimonials, DM you or DM them, not you, because that wouldn't make any fucking sense. We're smoking. So yeah. Anyway, SoFi 24-hour time frame sitting on top of the box. Third, because English doesn't fucking matter here. 1416. We're looking for a leg down to cost basis. Cost basis triggers a move down to, and fuck the channel. I mean, don't do that. It's not physically possible, but do look for a move underneath that to a leg down to 1214. I don't do squeezes on pennies. Are you moving to lemon 8 when TT gets banned? Um, lemon 8 just sounds somewhere I'm gonna take my clothes off. But I don't know. No, I'm probably just gonna go to YouTube. Right, lemon 8. I saw this guy's balls on lemon 8. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Um, I already tried. I saw some of this. I saw some people tried to follow me. I did make the profile because somebody tried to requested me to some big creator. It was really weird. All right, so that's what I see right here. All right, BLK. I'm just keep dropping them, guys. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try and focus here. All right, so now this type of dump, right? This type of breakdown, moving this quickly is liable to bounce. So I would say there's going to be a unique area. You're going to reuse the previous area, and that'll be 957, right? We'll see how that translates to the 4 hour. There you go. So look at the bounce already and the attempt to break back above that 957. If you're able to do that, I could absolutely see a very quick move up to retest that 976 mark, right? Or basically that floor. That's 973.50. I'm sorry. This will move really quickly though. I don't doubt that at all. But cost basis is right here. So I mean, I don't know if I see this thing dumping and breaking through this cost basis, but if it did, the consequences would be a 924 immediate floor and second target all the way down at 900. So all right, did I do Apple? I did not do Apple. Do Apple. Does anybody ever really do Apple, or doesn't Apple do everybody else? It's doing us. So Apple is simple. Above 237.58 on the 24-hour time frame, we're looking for the 240.73. Again, remember, if you're new here, I keep repeating something, right? And it's 24-hour time frame. I do not, under any circumstances, use the daily time frame. And if anybody in here has any questions on that, put a fucking tomato emoji or something in the Discord or in the chat, and I'd be happy to explain why. All right, moving on. Visa. Well, before we move on, let me fucking look down, right? So take a look at where you're at. He just typed tomato. That's crazy. You are sitting on top of a major area, right? This is exactly where you broke out from, and the goal is always to hold yourself up above it. You did do that this last week, but this week could be the week where, because of what's directly underneath you in the most recent price action, I would confidently again set a target underneath you right here at the top of this box, right? And that would also be cost basis on a higher time frame because it includes extended out. Right. Okay. That's enough tomatoes for me to explain it. All right. So I'm going to explain really quickly using Mara again, and I want you guys to take a look at it, and I'm going to explain after you see the difference in between the two why I do not exclude this data. Okay. So everybody sees this, right? I want you guys to pay attention to the cleanliness, right? The definitive candle closes right up here at the top, right up here at the bottom, right? Same thing here. So what I'm seeing, right, is flat floors retested perfectly, right? Perfect tops, right? And the candle closures adhere to themselves, right? Or rather, if this candle closes underneath and then this one opens back up on top, because you don't want to, typically on the box, if you're moving down into a box, the top of the red candle will mark out that. And if you close underneath it, it's typically cost basis that has to bounce you back up. But seeing these candles bounce and hold themselves back up shows that buyers are still trying to attempt to push this back up. But regardless, right, take a good look at this chart. Now watch what happens when I take away and put it back on the daily. Everybody see this? Hands off. Look at that. This, to me, is a mess. So pay attention. This, perfect box, kindergarten style, or this, wild, inconspicuous, not clear, right? Now, why? Why is that? Who has ever heard the saying that smart money comes in after hours? We're going to keep this short, but smart money comes in after hours or in pre-market. That's when these orders are being filled or being put into the market. Listen to the language. Orders are being put in. Who's buying? Smart people. What do smart people have? money, because if you're buying during those times, you're placing large orders on the market. These orders can be put in after hours or in pre-market. The market is open from 4:30 till 8 o'clock at night. If millionaires put in the order, right, in pre-market, and then price moves to that order and fills it for 1 million fucking shares, it's going to keep moving up, right? So if I can see that this is where the orders, where sellers placed their orders, that's where they say, nope, we're not letting price move above this wall. Period. That's not where we're letting it happen. I know that if we see a candle push outside of that, there's a high probability, especially given there's no resistance above you. And that's the kicker, is if there is no resistance above you, you are free to fucking fly off of their dime, because this is a story, quite literally, between buyers and sellers, right? Sellers, effort, push down, right? Right off of a break off or a breakup. Second day, break down, right? You do try to rip up. Sellers bring you right back down. Second day, you dip down. Sellers do their job, but they lose. They're still holding that price. Second day, drop down, almost lose cost basis. Second day, you lose cost basis. Exhaustion has reached its max, right? And falls underneath, right? So buyers have already exhausted this floor. They've bounced it. They've bounced it. They've bounced it. They've bounced it. You have a budget. That budget runs dry. But sellers also have to do a job. And I like to use a metaphorical example of like passing the baton. You want these guys to take price, hold it, and push it through that cost basis, right? Where the majority of the volume inside of a box is held. So if that is true, right, and buyers don't do their job and they lose the grip, you can even see that candle right there. They lose their grip. They're unable to hold it. They do not want this floor where buyers still have orders sitting there. They do not want that box to be reclaimed. And you can tell by that wick. They retest it and drive it back down to try to pass the baton to these guys. But they don't have the juice, right? Bounce back up. You reclaim that floor. And at this point, right, tension has reached its max. So this will be on YouTube. You can right there, clip that shit, record it. You don't need my permission or screen record this live. However you do it. But that right there, that information is the only reason that somehow I've been able to slip through the fucking cracks and be successful in this area and in this space. And teaching other people has shown me the same. So, and I'll never, as soon as I see somebody else using the daily chart, I'm like, damn, that's got to suck. So anyway, I was just talking about the difference between the daily and the 24-hour time frame. So, all right, Dell, we're gonna speed run, guys. I know I try to teach as much as possible. So while we're doing this, because if we're charting, we're able to teach. All right, another perfect example of cost basis being hit and rejecting, right? I believe on the 4-hour time frame, this is way more structural. Wow, that was tough. Damn, English fucking me up. So you have a job to do. Your job as a buyer is to push up onto this floor, push over cost basis, and fill up the empty space above you. You were unsuccessful. My cat is just harassing the shit out of me right now. Listen, I've been with you for 12 years. Give me a moment. You're eating filet mignon. Practically. All right. So here's what I see. Now this is not a great box. It is structural and has enough structure for me to be able to place that down. So here's what I see. Dell underneath this 114.24 floor is going to drop down into this space here, where I'm going to look to my left, and this is called having attention to detail, because we never do analysis only on the 24-hour time frame. We do it top down, so that way we know how the mechanism is working inside and out. All right. So as of right now, with Dell falling the way that it is, right, you have one last floor on the hourly at 113. Under 113, which I believe that can go and get hit, that's where I think you're going to fall really quickly down to 110. And if you look at this on the weekly, right, it definitely has that appearance. Now, when you go to the weekly, it also appears that you have a box, right? This is why we're doing higher time frame analysis as well. So I can say confidently again that underneath 109.50 weekly time frame will be dropping back down to that 90.50. So all right. ARCT. Oh Lord, therapeutics. Kill me now. All right. Okay, so this is just a choppy fucking mess. There is, however, some pockets of empty space up above you. So if I'm looking at this correctly, which is a therapeutics company, you would need a move over 2086 and absolutely over $22 to go and rip out, punch through, and go and hit $30. I don't. This is something where, yeah, maybe having an idea of when this, whatever they're working on, you can look at a biopharmaceutical calendar and correlate those releases. So, I have done Tesla now already. I'll really quickly bounce over it. You're in a box. That box is super duper clear. Your floor is underneath you at 379.22. Underneath you, you have a leg down to 360. Above cost basis at 402.50. There's a punchback at 409 that will lead you up to 428. So that's how I feel and see Tesla. It's just in a perfect area of consolidation on the higher time frame. SMCI. Ooh, a discount code. That discount code doesn't work anymore. We do have 35% off everything right now, but don't be just it'll happen again eventually. So don't go and buy memberships right off the rip. I am not a fucking signal chat. I am here to teach you to be an independent trader, and there's far too much in free information on my fucking YouTube for you guys to have to go and like feel urged. But if you have been watching me for a while and you have made the money or you want to join, that's yeah, a code you can take advantage of. So SMCI is consolidating around cost basis. So the way that I see this is right now you are both called to the lower time frame mechanics, right? So underneath us, here's our box. So lower, right? This is how you leave SMCI behind, right? SMCI breakdown and punch through the 3065 level will give SMCI the next low. And I think that because of the weekly and its engulfment like that, yeah, SMCI looks like it. There's a very high probability that you're going to punch down through this box and end up down here at this next target of 2785. Ivy, what's up? Ivy, will you post the code for anybody who's trying to join the Discord? I'm trying to go as fast as I can. I'm not skipping anybody. I go with the first stock my eyeball sees. So capitalize and your shit, and it helps. Sorry, I need a little lip pillow here. My lips are sleepy. All right. Yeah, I already did Amazon. That one will be on YouTube. I did QBTS, DLTR. All right. Dollar Tree weekly. All right. Massive area of consolidation. Let the chart lead you out. Right now, two major weekly rejections at the top. Cost basis at 69. Underneath 69, I think you'll make a full rotation and end up back down at the floor at 61. Above weekly candles 76.86 upside. 24-hour candle 77 upside. So, all right. Hood massive area of consolidation. Again, when we're in consolidation, it is not my job to have a bias. It is my job to look at the inner mechanics and see what direction this thing is likely to head because of it. While you're in an area of consolidation like this, it's good to go ahead and set the parameters to the top and the bottom. Where's your floor? Where's your ceiling? right? On the 24-hour time frame, it's likely that will change, and that's okay because you're going to be trading all week anyway. So under 36.46, which again, there is 3 major rejections at the top. So I can tell you this, if you were to be above that wall again somehow, you're going the fuck up. And $50 is the most tangible target here. On the flip side, if we break back down, right, my next target would be here and here, right? And I think that typically in these scenarios, I start looking for trend, right? Whether it be the end of the upside trend or just the beginning of a lower high. And that's something I don't see quite yet. Yeah, so I'm not going to put it on there. But that's yeah, you're just getting fucked to bits here. All right, Shop. I like Shop, and by the way, I do have my handy dandy fucking notebook, and the only stocks that I have on my watch list for potential 2,000, 3,000 plus percent trades, which we hit on a regular basis, are Google and Shopify. So pay attention to this one. Shopify, right? And on the weekly time frame, I mean, it has all the bits. It looks good, right? Look at it on the upside. So I will flip my chart upside down, right? This is something we can do with this strategy just to see what it looks like, because a lot of the time, some people, it only makes sense if it's going to the upside, right? So here's what I see, right? And we'll flip it back over. I just wanted to see. So simple. I see a target of 91.61, right? For now, 91.61 if we break down. And that is obviously with a candle close, because we did not close, underneath 103. All right? So repeat after me. Below 103.50, the target is 91.60. That is a nice, juicy dump, right? I think worthy of our potential trade. There is the beginning of a downtrend, right? I think this expands, and that's where we end up moving back down. Ultimately, I think runners, right? We don't take profit on the whole position, but runners could go to 83. But I will take into account the trend channel that we have going to the downside. So have you ever been in a trading group? I was in one trading group called Aristotle Investments. I know some of you guys might be familiar with him. Might be one of the worst. I'm not going to try not to get banned here, but not bad person. He left his mic open. He started doing live trading, left his mic open, and one day was making fun of all of the customers that were buying his course because it was all copy and pasted from Investopedia, and he just put emojis on it, and has been selling it for like $300, $500, $600, $700 a piece. And it literally is a word for word, bar for bar from Investopedia. It's fucking ridiculous. If you guys are on here, 232 of you, 220 of you, if you guys don't mind, if you guys could tap the ever living shit out of your screen, that would be great. He doesn't deserve any more airtime. He's just a bad person. So I am not in this trading space to make friends. In fact, if I make, the less friends I make, the better. I am here to fuck things up in some sense, because I want independent traders who don't need me anymore. You don't need, like, straight up, what does tapping the screen do? Well, it's connected to a haptic vest, but I don't have the vest on my chest. Anyway, so, you know, I can feel every tap. All right, Eli Lilly has a pretty simple setup inside of its area of consolidation, up against the top of $800. This is its own individual box inside of this wide area. So my current target right now is going to be right around 821 and 835 on the break. Is this a guy from the Jeffrey Dahmer movie? Damn, we definitely hit the For You page. That's my brother, so I have a different taste in meat. Pause. All right. Anyway, you're drinking again? I'm not. I'm stone sober, right? I promise. Just joined premium today. Welcome, dude. Yo, it's me born. Yo, what's up, dude? That's a weird name to shout out loud, but right after the Jeffrey Dahmer comment, but it's okay. These things write themselves. Ugh, Milk wants Soundhound. Soundhound. The thing that concerns me about this is you've dumped so fast. And one thing that people in here will learn is the characteristics of how something dumps will typically be how it reverses. So moving down into the 4 hour time frame, we need to go ahead and basically set up bars because you're cost basis. Above you, it is fucking so goddamn clear. Soundhound above 1531 will go up. I have no doubt about it, and hit 1780. So that's your upside trade. And sometimes that's just how it works. On the obvious downside, Soundhound looks like it's crashing. So a punch through and underneath 1289, there is nothing to catch you. You are fucked. By the way, Target paid off huge. Yes, Target worked really well. Uber worked really well. Our biggest trades have been Netflix. Friday, we swung from Wednesday to Friday. We had $41 contracts selling for like five. What did I sell those for? Hold on. I'll tell you guys what. So I bought the contracts for $42, and then hold on. I sold them for $434 on average. That was the first sell. So $42 to they got as high as 1,000. So it was an insane trade, 2,000+% trade, and then we had beginning of the week also. MU was ridiculous. I don't know if anybody. Yeah, MU was also another really crazy trade. Rivian was a great trade. I didn't take it with options though. Yeah, we had somebody in here hit a 12,000% trade. This is one of my favorite comments. This guy thought the group was a scam. All right, he had been scammed. He's like, he's safe here. All right, Google. So that is the second trade. I like this. Now I'll tell you why I like it. I like it because of the consolidation and the massive rejections coming off of the top. I like it because underneath its floor and oh my God, fuck you. This is a delicious chart. On the weekly time frame, you can see the floor of 189 being held desperately. You move to the 24-hour, right? You can see the consolidation and rejections off of the top are clear. You can also find your floor. Your floor is here, and that is right around 186.50. So Google underneath, I mean, this is just fucking kindergarten charting. I see Google breaking down under this floor and just going to retest 182. How much daily profits do you see? I don't always make money every day. I buy low priced, low risk, high reward options at night. At the end of the day, when price has settled, IV has settled, all of that stuff. I buy them and then typically, what I do is literally buy day trades the day before because the system is clear and I can confidently see big moves about to happen. So, and I've done this repeatedly in front of God and everybody now for, years. And it's something that still to this day, I don't know how. I do know how. It's ridiculous that we've made it here. To the point where like I'm sharing this with people and they're making money on their own without me. Like I don't there is people in the Discord go and chart by themselves. I mean, they are fucking ready to go. And that was my goal when I started and still is the goal. So it's a beautiful thing. AI absolutely, I mean, it makes total sense. They use 3184. That is a major sell level, bounce level, retest level. If lost, you will move down. and go and hit this box. Now, fuck the channel. Again, the channel was, we're just looking. If anything, that's subject to change, but it does require that you do look above you and see how you fell. So there is a possible retest of the floor of $34 before you end up legging down because you dumped very quickly. There is also a second target if that is reclaimed of $35.64 because there's no resistance. I do typically stream on TikTok, and I do not stream on YouTube every day, but that's set to change. We're likely going to be on YouTube on the 17th or 18th. So, all right. How important are the channels on a scale of 1 to 10? They're like a 6. Do you buy same week expirations? I do. I did finish Google. Yeah. Google. We're just looking right now. It's lower time frame mechanics. If you're really looking at this, I need this box right here. See how it bounced off of 190? I need that to break. Right. That's what needs to happen. Once that break happens, I can aim here, and then I can aim to that second target. So time do you give an option, a few days or a week? So, okay, so this is really important that everybody understands, right? How you dump is how you pull back up. If you dump very fast, you will rip right the fuck back up very quickly. That is just, learn that. That is a basic market mechanic. If you move quickly, right? If you move like this, so I can just tell you this, like as if I'm looking at a fucking car and this is a car part. This is how it works, right? Underneath 182, candle close, breakdown, this will be enveloped quickly, right? Structure is hard to move through. The break of structure or the break of a box is not, especially, right, given how it got there. So let me give you an example and a reason why. So this is a recap of the trade that we took on NVIDIA that paid us 2,000+%, right? We have a box we're sitting on top of, 3 major rejections, and you're going to learn 1, 2, 3 is a really important number here. 1, 2, 3 rejections off of the top, breakdown, cost basis, right? 883. So that says, well, okay, well, the strategy says that you're going to make a new low outside of the area of consolidation. So what is underneath you? Is there boxes here? Is there any structure here? Look how you fall. So how do I expect Netflix, when it does break back over, right? And it retested 350 or 850. If Netflix goes and hits this cost basis, bounces back up, hits 845 and punches through that box, you are going to rip absolute dick straight up into the floor. Excuse me. Chart based on my own strategy that I've created called the Potter Box system. All right, moving on. What was the next one? Next, V for Visa, 24-hour time frame. Well, that looks like it's fucked. Absolutely fucked to bits. Damn. Ugh. Damn. I think it looks like it's gonna fucking dump, dude. That looks like it's gonna dump. It's gonna rain. There it is. Break your 305.75 low, and there's nothing. That's dumpy, dude. Hold on one second. You guys got to give me 2 seconds. Hold on. Sorry. I had to fight off agents of BlackRock. That was pretty scary. No, I was having a. I needed to buy a fridge for my garage, so I have like a drink fridge. Please, they will lynch my brother if you don't. Oh my God, Jose. Well, you spelled lynch wrong, but I didn't take a. Nah, I didn't take one of those. Yeah, that's got a nice. It was a nice little drink fridge there. So, all right. Yeah, Visa could be potentially added to the watch list. So, all right. So for this guy's brother, I guess we'll take a look at Disney, and this one I've already done analysis on, so it's pretty simple. You've already retested 110, and that is where any sort of recovery would happen, but you've seen a ton of rejections. Your downside, the leg down, will happen underneath 108, and I see a dump. There's a big dump looking down. I mean, and there's a market's gonna have to really fight hard to stay up and afloat. So with Disney, there is a chance of some sort of retest here. You know, earnings is pretty far away, but 103 looks like the target. So uh, I I got to get water. Hold on. 2,000%. Yeah. Delicious. Okay. All right. Okay. LO. All right. This is also is one that on the weekly you had your breakout, you had your moment. This could be the end. Pull back. You pull back pretty fast. So based, I mean, obviously it's too soon to call for a short signal, but you are getting very close. And after breaking out like that, you ripped fast, you broke down hard. So your last chance is to stay right here, bounce off 24, and reclaim this. But there is a channel that is perfect that I think ultimately leads you down. So, AM, Chop City, dude. Holy crap. Okay, so you are on the floor trying to hold it. Cost basis is here. So if you can break through cost basis, you have an immediate target, not empty space, but another box directly up above you at 88. Is this stocks only? I typically don't do futures or anything like that, man. I make too much trading options for me to deviate. So, Kroger. Um, Not hating, but serious question. With all the money you have made and judging by your black background, help helping others is more your DSL or DESL than flashy. What are you saying? Cost basis is the 50% mark of any area of consolidation, and once it's broken, that typically will release. So, are you asking me why I choose to help others instead of just do this? Instead of just do this by myself? If that's what you're asking, it's an easy answer. I'm a petty individual. I also, um, I don't let certain. I have a strong sense of justice, as my fucking therapist puts it. I was scammed, like probably a lot of you have been, which really pissed me the fuck off because the information was free and just being resold to me. And so, upon me going out and doing my own analysis, start looking at the market raw, not asking anybody for help, not letting people define anything for me. Um, I actually came up with a system that worked for me. And then building on that system, defining that system, and then seeing the results where I was able to take a very small amount of money, 300. The most I ever started, or the least I ever started with was $18, and I ended that account at like 11.6. So it's like, and I lost $80,000 doing it, but I lost $80,000 or lost the money that I would make by switching back to trying to scalp and do all this other crazy shit. So once I figured out that I had a system that really worked, and I stopped, I started doing this thing where every time I hit 10K, I would pull that money out and I would start over again. After coming up with that system and seeing the results of that system actually helped me be able to pay all my bills. I mean, $10,000 at that point in my life was a lot. Um, I guess looking at other people's pages, it got me angry. I am angry for people that haven't quite yet seen what I've seen. Um, yeah, Aristotle. I mean, he scammed me whether he thinks so or not. He gave me. So I mean, if you want my honest answer, I'm pissed off, right? I'm still pissed. I'm still like, well, fuck you for scamming me, right? But also, look at here. I've thought a lot about this. The only reason that the majority of you guys are here, right? It's because there's something you're trying to improve in your life. And when we're starting something new, we seek guidance. How bad of a person do you have to be to take advantage of that, right? That's not being human. That's being a greedy piece of shit. And so I guess it's just in my nature. And, with my childhood and the way that I was raised and all this other stuff, I don't like when people are treated wrongly or people are taking from others knowingly. It's just it infuriates me. Like it's not the flashy cars. It's not all this that's not it. It's the fact that they're using it's anything and everything they can to try to get you to believe that they are going to help you. That's it. So, check live trading. Ivy, get out of here. That's awesome. Yeah, make sure everybody subscribe to my YouTube. I mean, and I'm telling you guys, yeah, that's my real hair, by the way. I'm telling you guys, you go to the educational playlist, you go to all of these, you will learn enough. So sometimes anger doesn't I have that trait, but it's it's a good thing when you're able to use it to motivate you to do the right thing. So okay, moving on. Um, oh my God, I didn't know that was Stelio, bro. I thought that was a white guy in the profile pic. So you make enough to live comfortably? I live well within my means. Yeah, yeah, I make way more than I even know how to manage, which is why a lot of it is in QYLD. I'm not a multimillionaire, and I've never had a multi-million year stock trading, but I am, and I think this is the goal for anybody coming into the market. I am making enough to pay my bills, to live comfortably, to buy cars, to not be in debt, to invest in other things, to explore my own ideas, to be free. So, yeah. Um, I do trade SPY every once in a while. Costco. All right. I'm just blessed to be here, man. I don't I have struggled with imposter syndrome for a long time because but it went away when I finally realized that it was actually a stockbroker who joined my Discord. I think he might be still be in there, but he was a stockbroker for a long time. And he said, I've never seen anything like this, and I've never seen anybody return like this. And it just made me feel like, okay, it doesn't matter if you're a rich kid and you go to fucking Harvard, dude. Like this is a battle within this. You could have the best strategy in the world, but to be able to handle tough situations and not respond to them with anger, but with well, not without anger, but using that anger to problem solve. How can I remedy this situation? And I think me being a good problem solver has helped me in life because I've dealt with a lot of problems. Dealt with, I mean, I was homeless when I was the minute that I stepped foot out of my house as an adult. I had nowhere to go and nobody to call. So, this is a difficult place for Costco. Not in the sense where I don't know where it's going, but well, I don't. The reason I say that is because you did pop up, you did try to reclaim this small box floor, which would push you up into the structure above you, but you did reject it. So what I think is that if you do break down underneath 917, you're likely to go all the way to cost basis. So do I always buy contracts out of the money? I typically only buy contracts, and you'll notice if you go and scan. I encourage you guys to go look at the gains page because this is something where you guys can look at the the gains, right? I mean, she's got 506, 26%, 397, 119, 100%. And it doesn't like that doesn't stop. And that looks cool, right? That like makes people like want to join the Discord. And that's not my intention, because you don't need to pay me anything. If you can't afford to join my Discord, I definitely would rather you earn the money by using the system, going to my YouTube and exploring it itself. But if I scroll, right, and I do this a lot, I'll scroll indefinitely, like eyes closed, no looking, and just pause somewhere, right? And I go and I look at the percentages. You know what I'm saying? Like that's ridiculous to go. I mean, this is, and I'm not even out of December. I'm, and I just scrolled like a madman. Yeah, I mean, 655%. It's crazy. All right, all right. But anyway, most, if not all, of these people are buying target-based contracts. Sorry, I zoned out there for a second. All right. Hey, new to your Discord, need to watch your YouTube videos. Can you tell me what your cost basis means? Yes, it's the 50% mark of any area of consolidate based. Yeah, so I'll explain target based contracts as I chart. So target based contracts are only picked or chosen when we see areas of empty space, right? Or a major firing. Like for example, cost basis breaks, we're expecting a fast dump to the floor. When we are trading in areas that look like this, like let's just, role play here, pause. So maybe we pop back up, right? Well, you know what, fuck it, we'll do it there. So let's say that I want to take, which this is real analysis, so I'm giving you real analysis here so you can use. 6815 is the 4-hour box directly up above me that I'm rejecting, right? Oh, Dylan, welcome, man. Yeah, I'm glad you're here, dude. Um, so above 6811, fair value gap, fair value gap these nuts, all right? So above 6808, there's a first target of $70. So if you were to play that punchback, you would likely be buying $70 contracts. If you were playing set to 75, and I'm going to explain why. Let's say that you traded that punchback, it went up and it reclaimed the floor, right? You would have $75 contracts more than likely, right? That would be the first target through this is empty space. Now, why in the fuck would we buy contracts that are declining in value, right? In an area that looks like this, right? It's the same concept as Netflix, right? Same concept. If I see an area where there is no resistance coming up or going down, then I'm going to trade the same way it ripped is the same way it will fall. And that concept will change a lot of your lives for real. If it rips fast, it will dump fast. So when I look at, okay, well, my target is, or my floor to break is here. We broke cost basis, right? So my target is the top of this box, period. That's 837. Now I could buy contracts for the 840 strike for really cheap. So I went ahead and went with a strike that was closer to that psychological number. So that way, if my target got hit, I was in the money. But these contracts, because this thing has been moving like a slug, were deteriorating. They're losing value, but people don't know what we know. They don't know that when these triggers fire and we have empty space, that we're going to move like that. So, whew. All right. We've been live for about an hour 40. We're gonna go for about 10 more minutes. And then I gotta go. I gotta go set up my. Yeah, theta decay is we use. So I want to give you guys an example of a really really crazy trade that we took, on ANF, right? And this is a weekly area of consolidation, but I played it here, right? So remember what I said about empty space, right? I'm going to explain to you why I buy these contracts. And once you see this, right, it's like it shows you why. Why would I do something like that? This is exactly why, because mechanics are mechanics. The contracts don't fucking make me think anything. So, what is the worst thing? Everybody answer me this. What is the worst thing for options to do? Right? What's the worst thing that would bleed the value out of this contract? Chop, right? Sideways action. Exactly. You guys got it. Everybody has it. So, what's happening to the contracts inside of this area, right? They're declining in volume. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. So, people buying strikes in here, fucked. People buying strikes down here, fucked, right? There's actually a word that we use for that. That's called max pain. That's probably a way for you to find boxes, right? Is where max pain has reached its highest. I love max pain. Give me the pain. Pain is pleasure. Pause. So here's what I do. I look for a candle close and I take my trades at the end of the day, right? The end of the day is when things slow down, despite what people say, right? That is when things slow down, right? At the end of the day is where we typically take our contracts. If the area that sellers were trying to keep price underneath desperately, they were trying to keep it, is broken, and we're closing outside of that resistance, and there's nothing up above me, I'm going to take that position. Now, luckily, this was done on Friday, right? So I only had the option of taking next week's contracts, right? That was my only option. So I bought contracts around the 165 price. My target was 164.62. Those were deep, just absolutely dirt cheap, which means that I can buy 50, 100, 200 contracts for a fraction of the price of what normally people will pay for contracts. I mean, I'm paying 20, 15, 10 cents per contract. And it doesn't change the fact that the chart says we're going up. We look up above us. We're going to trade box to box. As you can see, we hit cost basis. I sold contracts at the tippity motherfucking top because my job is not to speculate further what happens beyond this unless that triggers. It doesn't. So with that being said, right, my goal is to take low value options, right? And if the chart, this is important, if the chart says that we have no other resistance above us except for empty space, you're going to go there. And that's it. I can't, there has been so many trades. We traded MU. MU was the same way, right? We traded MU pumping up out of this box, right? And this was just coming out of, we're just sideways, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. And then we liked the system of 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, go for that third break. Now this did gap up and we took our chance because on a lower time frame, you had built a box here. And what is up above you? A flat resistance, right? There's no box up here. It's just flat. So because you dump fast, and I want you guys to pay attention, look at how you dump fast and then you rip ass. This was a 4,000 to 7,000% trade. And I'm not saying that to fucking be flashy. That's just the reality of what the fuck that was, right? Closing right here on Friday. I love Friday swings. Opens up, blast off, hits the floor. I have $96 contracts. I trim off all of the risk. The trade is paid for. We're in profits. And I let my runners run. So. All right, let's move back to charts here for a little bit. MVI, okay. Ooh, so this one, see a little bit of upside potential here. You got a box underneath you, perfect little box. You bounce off of the top of it as you should. You have a floor up above you, and you're fighting with it. See how easy that is? So I can tell you definitively that above these wicks, you will reach these wicks at 136. Now, I can't give you much other than that except for a channel, right? I can't tell you if this is going to break, right? Its destiny is unknown to me. I only react to triggers. I don't react to anything else. I don't speculate. I do speculate, but I don't speculate beyond a punchback, right? So what would be necessary for this to break out is to punch through 150, right, on a reclaim of the floor of 137. Did I buy anything last Friday, end of day? I did. BBIW or BBAIW. What is Bed Bath? BBAIW? BBIW? What the fuck is this stock? Why am I forgetting? I just said you just fucking wiped my brain. BBWI, that's right. BBWI. I knew it was close. So I bought BBWI, and this is a good example. Can anybody tell me why I might be shorting this? Do you guys see the same elements that I showed you on all of these other charts apparent here? So underneath 3583, empty space 32. Oh, I bet, Jack. Yeah. What's up, Michael? So you already retested the bottom of that box. All right. Whew, I feel a little dizzy right now. SYM. I buy both. Whatever the chart tells me. If it's a big weekly chart, then maybe I'm buying, or if it's on the weekly, I'm buying longer out. So, like for example, that amount of empty space, I would have to go out at least a month. You know, so this is a interesting little chart. It looks like it has a lower time frame downtrend right here. Okay, we're going to leave that alone because it's not clear. This is your box. That is your floor. You are rejecting 2789 underneath you. Box. So you're stuck in between. Do I hedge every trade? No, I don't. Do I trade morning trades at all? So I typically trade at the end of the day. There's sometimes, yes, I will trade during the day or at the bell, but this is a statistic I choose not to fight. 80% of the market movement is overnight, right? I capture these kind of trades, right? By waiting to the end of the day. Define hedge in your terms. So hedging for me, because we're able to buy a lot or compound into these positions for low risk, high reward, the concept would be the same thing to the downside. We'll pick a lower time frame target. What's the worst case scenario here? And we'll buy really far out of the money option contracts so that if it was to fall or move in the direction that we didn't want it to, we can, in fact, Mara did this and our hedges paid out like 2+100%. So, more or less I trade uh sorry, my brain's shutting down. Yeah, my brain's shutting down. Oh, if it's a trade that I'm speculating on and I don't have a for sure trigger, then I will hedge. That's what I was going to say. So I've expended my brain talking myself through a couple water bottles here. Oh, wow. Okay, AAL with a straightforward breakout moving directly up into the box above. The box above is here. Cost basis. So you need a candle close above 1864 in order to continue moving higher. So, yo, oh, thank you guys for the gifts. You guys don't have to do that. Seriously, I really do. I mean, I know it helps the algorithm, but you guys, I appreciate it a lot. Oh, shucks. LE. All right, let's do a speed chart here before we close out. Now that one looks like it will come back down. So you're barely hanging on to this 1280 floor. That weekly candle is rough. Now, this is not something that I would trade just purely off of the way that it moves. It is not very fluid. It does punch back. It does its job, as you can see right here, right? But it dipped down, punched back 50% new highs. But it has a lot of pitfalls, like right here, which would serve as your imbalance. So upon a break, I would say 1150 is your first target. Funny you should bring up win ratio. It's not really relevant, but um, you could, with my strategy, you could have a 40-60, which means that you're basically only winning 40% of the time. You could still be profitable because we are quite, yeah, I do track my trades. But based on risk to reward, right? I don't do this whole like 90% win ratio because that's a marketing ploy. I'm just being 100% real with you. That is purely marketing because you could win 99% of the time and those could be bullshit base hit bump trades. And I'm sorry, but if you want bump base hit trades and you think you're going to build your account up that way, get the fuck out of here. Oh my god, you guys, these gifts. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. AVGO. There's a lot of stocks that have these weird look. How do long term plays and weekly? Do you do long? Yeah, I do both. Yeah, I do. I mean, I've bought PLTR down at the lows, Rivian. You know, I've had some pretty fucking badass equity trades, but um, uh, so I'll just show you Netflix again. I took this at the end of the day. Easy. That's sorry. Audio, yeah, it's crisp. So really quickly, right? You have a floor that needs to be reclaimed, and if sellers are in control, they're going to make sure that it doesn't. They force this down, right? So pay attention to the candlesticks, right? Leg down, wake up right here. Second day, retest, bring down, flat. Second or third day, you pop up, you try again, you run out of juice, right? You guys can't hear me. You guys should be able to hear me now. It says the mic is going. Um, So look at this candle right here is why I took that trade. That right there, as small as it may be, is exactly where this breaks because that is the floor that buyers are holding up. This shows that buyers were not able to close price on that floor again and you break down. And again, what are you breaking down from? This box. What is underneath you? This box, right? So, I mean that's just the last. Literally, we took this and you help. I Miss Carrie and anybody else who's listening, my job, right, when I show up every single day, is to let price go from point A to point B. I bought this trade at the end of the day on Wednesday, and then we had Thursday off, and then Friday was when this took off. So we literally woke up and it immediately started fucking flushing. It went to the floor, broke the floor cleanly, and yeah, it was. And I can't. I mean, MU was the same way. We traded this one up over the weekend. So Monday we had a ridiculous. I mean, I literally doubled my account in the first week. A Galaxy, y'all chill out. Do not have to send me gifts, man. I appreciate you guys make me blush. Y'all don't have to do that. I appreciate you though. So, and I mean, you can see the gains from this trade. It's crazy. Lulu, look at this. Look at the percentages of this one. 1,183%. So, and that's Lulu. I mean, I didn't call Lulu. Um, Uber, 647%. This was the MU trade. This is 1,700 fucking percent on a regular basis. Every trade that I take, now I don't go into that trade thinking I'm gonna make a 3,000%. I just know what a good setup looks like. Jesus Christ, Michael. Holy shit, man. I don't think I've ever had this many gifts. That's crazy. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Donate them. That's crazy. Uh, yeah, literally. I mean, these are life-changing trades. There is somebody in here who started on January 1st with $500, and he has like $2,000-3,000, or excuse me, $2,000-3,000. He's got like $20,000+. So, oh, Jesus. Did you signal my Discord on MU? So here's what I've built, right? My Discord is a hive mind. Everybody is using the same strategy. There's no confusion, right? We don't even want to hear any of the other bullshit. And there is in the main Discord, there's 447 active members. And so with that amount of people, right, and then plus you have the free Discord, we are constantly finding these plays. I'm buying options typically. I don't ever sell options. So we are probably the market's most efficient scanner. It's lit. Yeah, every day at the end of the day, I tell people like, okay, this is what I'm doing. Right? I tell people what I'm doing, but my goal, right, is not to have people just be like, "Oh, okay, I'm just going to follow him." My goal is to have, and I will explain it, and Jesus Christ, Michael, I will explain it all the way through, right? So there is a 35% off code if you want to join lifetime, yearly. Again, I want commitment. So do not come in this Discord. Go to my YouTube if you don't know. Go through my educational videos. Make sure that this is the right decision for you. And then the website is simplestacksinvestments.com, all one word. You can see it right here. And again, we build independent traders. So you could listen. There is not a single soul. I've met like one or two people where I'm like, yeah, I don't think you're gonna make it. But that's just because they have these behavior characteristics that are like psycho. I mean, they literally, one of my favorite, not favorite stories, but like I think about it all the time is like this dude was trading on 250K and he took a trade literally in opposition of me. I mean, debt took it almost at the same time. And he put all of it in there. He put 250K into this trade going the opposite way of me. And I made myself super clear. I was like, this is the reason why it's going up. He had, all of his indicators. He lost all of it in a matter of minutes. He lost all of it. He calls me and Manny and he's like, so should I deposit 250K more? Or do you think I should do 500 so I have some cushion? I said, send it to me, dude. So I had no lights and homeless 2 months ago, and now I'm green because of meat? No way, dude. That's what I'm saying, man. How is that even possible? That's crazy. I mean, not for you, but just it's wild, man. I never thought I'd grow up to have people say stuff like that to me. I'm just happy to be here and to be able to help, man. That's incredible. All right. Yeah, people can join the Discord, of course. Just be ready to work, be ready to learn, and talk to people. Be vocal. Your money is not not going to benefit if you're silent. Be vocal. Talk to us. Dude. Thank you for the galaxies, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I might have to get Ivy here on the like let her come in as a co guest. Thank you guys. It is on my profile. It's also through simplestacksinvestments.com. Ivy, what is the code? Will you send me the code really quick? Text it to me. Yeah, will you text it to me? Oh my God, I forgot to put that in post. Simplestacksinvestments.com, guys. Right? How old is the oldest student? Uh 70 plus, 70. I think he's 71, 72 is the oldest student. We have there's no judgment here. We have 19-year-olds, 70-year-olds. There's even kids that are kids whose parents have signed up who are starting to learn this shit. And if you sign up and you got a fucking kid, you don't have to pay more, obviously, or you got friends, or obviously. I make too much money to worry about that kind of shit, to worry about whether people like share the fucking love. I basically teach everybody for free anyway. So but I think the Discord itself has become something worth the value. I mean, it is quite frank. Jesus Christ, Michael, thank you, dude. But it has become something I can't believe it that it even exists. I mean, it is almost a cult, but not really. We just there's people there. They're there for each other. They help each other. It's crazy. So. Is trading buying low and selling higher? Is it buying more stocks with the profit of the others? Is it buying more stocks with the profits of others? What do you mean? We do not do we don't do any like equity buying and stuff like that. I mean, that's not what I'm here for. So I'm teaching you a strategy that you can use for anything. I've had people use the Potter box for mortgage rates, straight up. When they were buying their house, they were looking at mortgage rates and they were fucking charting the mortgage rates. Exchange rates. Motherfuckers will chart exchange rate, like, the yen. But yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, again, if you can afford to join, cool. If you've made the money to join, cool. But if you're brand new and this is your first time seeing my face, I don't want you to buy. I actively am pushing you away because I want you to go to my YouTube and I want you to absorb as much as you can before you join. So, yeah, federal fund rate, all of it, Justin. I mean, it's mechanical, dude. Where do we start? My YouTube channel right here, and we're gonna go ahead and shut this down after this. But yeah, go to my YouTube channel, go to the educational playlist, Potterbox strategies, how to find them. Make sure to drop a like and a comment if you're new there. The Potterbox breakdown, an hour and 50 minutes of me explaining in that robe my strategy, right? How to set up your trading view for the Potterbox strategy, right? The Potterbox workshop introduction, 3 hours of my skinny ass. I was on a diet. Going over this, 2 setups to change your fucking trading forever. Basically, the Potterbox option trading Q&A, 3 hours of just yappage, pure yappage. Q short explained. We took a fucking fat short on the Qs, made a lot of money. People wanted to know how. I mean, yeah, it's all here. Potterbox strategy Q&A. I just posted this one 5 days ago. Yeah, I joined ADT and that was a waste of money. See, a lot of people who follow him think that I'm like I don't like. I want there to be an equal exchange of value. If you want to join the Discord and you want my time and my energy, yeah, that's the service. Do I think it's worth it? I've seen the proof, so much proof, and it makes me feel good about what I do. It really does. But at the same time, right? You have all of this information that those kind of people are selling, and it is just a reiteration, if that, of information that's already free. And that's where it's like, yo, you can see this shit from a mile away, and I'm not gonna not say something. I'm gonna say something. And I lost a profile that had 250,000 fucking followers by doing that, So, all right, yeah, go to my YouTube, absorb as much as you can. Ivy, did you text me that code? Is Ivy not here? Hold on. Hold on, I'll find the code for you guys if you're trying to sign up. 35% off. So, if you want to utilize it, you can. All right. This is the coupon code. J, capital I, capital T, lowercase g, capital J, capital C, capital J, capital P, capital E. So go ahead and get that. We're going to go ahead and close this stream up. If you're watching on YouTube, stay on YouTube because we're going to be going live there. It's the rectangle. It's over here. It's the fourth one down. And then you'll see it should be it'll be like a brush or a highlighter or something like that. But you can put a star by the ones that you want to favorite, like a highlighter or something. I've never used the highlighter. Oh, that's kind of cool. What is that? Somebody drew that on my. What happened? It's a bad highlighter. I have 30K in Robinhood with a minimal knowledge. I guess I got lucky, but I really want to educate. Chasing Jack. Listen, you are in a incredibly important area in your trading career right now, and it is the most important. Before you put your money, it's just like getting a job, right? It's like you buy all these tools, but you wouldn't do that until you need them, until somebody actually shows you how to use it. So I would go to my YouTube and then take the workshop, and then take a small fraction of that 30K, like $1,000, $1,500, and start hunting for the clear setups. And then if you're in the Discord, obviously you can relay those charts to me, and I can check on them. So one last question. What's up, Brody? You looking for any option scalpers for your Discord? What do you mean, like a signal caller? I personally do not, man. No offense, but we are. If anything, I directly advocate for people not to scalp. I'm a overnight swing trader, but also not a signal caller. I'm not here to give people, tell people. So I can explain why I am not a signal guy. Um, it is a brain thing, right? If I leave a fucking pot of honey on my porch every single day for somebody to pick up, eventually they're got to stop going to the store. You're gonna go grab the honey off my porch, and humans are biologically programmed to go with what's easiest. So if I sit there, and this is my another big problem I have with chats, if I'm teaching you how to trade, why am I telling you what to buy? Because at the end of the day, your brain's not going to want to do it yourself. Nobody wants to do anything themselves, right? We have to need to do something by ourselves. And then when we do that, we realize, hey, we can do this. And people will realize that I'm capable of doing this, that, just because Potter's, has been doing it doesn't mean that, like, everybody has a space. And so if I sit there and I feed you the knowledge and then try to teach you simultaneously, you're only going to use the things that I'm teaching you in the moments when you don't need them, really, right? You need to be able to manage your own trade from start to finish. And that right there will give you the confidence to continue that process, because you want the reward center in your brain to not have a pathway to me and my answers and what I'm saying, right? The neurological pathway needs to be built towards where do I need to get in? Where am I taking profit, right? What's my risk? What am I looking at, right? These are right. I'm quite, it is quite, what I was a rebellious child, of course, yes. I am teaching you how to fish, yes. But with a net, it's a fucking net. Someone who can spot momentum and report it. I'm watching damn near 700 tickers when I scalp. I mean, I wouldn't employ you, King Midas, if you're looking for employment, like, in that terms. No. Everything, I am so happy with where my Discord is at and the results that we're getting. That I if anything, we're trying to get in before momentum even starts. But I appreciate the offer. So, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and head off. I hope everybody got the code. If you need the code, sign up now. Shoot me a DM. Ask me or tell me why you're here, what you're looking to accomplish. When you get into the Discord, let me know what you're trying to accomplish. Where you come from. Are you brand new? What count size? All that good stuff. Give me a rundown, and that way I know who I'm talking to. I don't always get back to those messages, but I do read all of them. So. All right. You guys have a how do I draw the Potter box? I'll explain this a little bit later, or you could go to my YouTube. But I start typically at points of contact, or the top and the bottom of any area of consolidation. Like, for example, this one, you pop down and then you punch through it. So I start at the lows, right? Points of contact, and the same thing at the top. Candle wick, candle close, candle wick, 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 open, up, right? Open, down. So, yeah. I'm glad I hit the For You page today. Hopefully more people are able to see the wild fucking results of what we're able to accomplish here. So, all right. You guys have a wonderful evening. Yeah, that's it. That's all you got to do, Jack. But my DMs are open. So, last thing, remember, I will never DM you for any investment opportunity. Even inside of the Discord, people try to replicate my profile all the time. We have Ivy trying to kill them. But anyway, you guys have a wonderful night. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. We'll prep for the market open, see if there's any opens that look obvious, and let's have a good week. So. No rushing into trades, 24-hour time frame setups, end of the day, all that good stuff. So, all right. Y'all have a great day. Peace. This will be on YouTube. No problem. Y'all have a good night.